time. It's over. Chelsea are out. And the Real Madrid celebrations begin in the Bernabeu after an absolute classic. There are players down on the pitch, all over the place. They've given everything. Both sets of players, both squads were magnificent tonight. The energy, the effort, the heart and the character, it was there for everybody to see. Chelsea were brilliant. Mason Mount had them ahead. Antonio Rudiger doubled the lead. They thought they were through when Timo Werner scored with 15 minutes to go, but Rodrigo scored only a few minutes after coming on. And then Karim Benzema, who's been the talismanic figure for Real Madrid all season, with his 38th goal of the season in the first period of extra time. And the 13 times European champions live to fight another day. But it doesn't tell the full story of the Chelsea heart, the Chelsea bravery and the magnificent performance they gave in Madrid tonight. But Real Madrid are through to the last four. It's been an absolute classic. It's finished on aggregate. Real Madrid 5, Chelsea 4. What a night.
Wow, what a night. What a fascinating couple of legs of football that sees the champions out of the Champions League. Real Madrid make it through. Listen, we'll get into the specifics in a moment, but first, credit both sides. A brilliant, absorbing, fascinating game of football this evening.
Well, listen, firstly, congratulations to Real Madrid. They showed great character. I thought outplayed today. But to get through these type of games, you need to have that desire, that personality, that character, as well as footballing ability. But those three things I mentioned before come into play, and they had it in spades to get back after going 3-0 down. The Chelsea players, the Chelsea team, they will be absolutely sick. They'll be devastated with that after going 3-0 up in the Bernabeu and having the momentum, and then all of a sudden the game getting taken away from them. I mean, we saw Rudiger at the end of that going bananas. He was going crazy, and you can understand why. But what a performance.
Normally in games like this, you'd always think that have the best team won. Did they deserve it? Well, you'd almost say that the way Chelsea played in the first 45 minutes last week, they missed chances in the second half last week, and they were much the better team today and made double the amount of chances Real Madrid were. But unless you put these teams away who've got this experience in these competitions, unless you put the game to bed, you're always vulnerable. And that's what's seen today, you know. Have Real Madrid been the better team? Probably not. But are they through to the semi-finals? Yes, they are.
Yeah, I mean, it's crucial. And that man there in your shot, Benzema, you know, it was always going to be him. Modric outstanding again. I think, you know, first of all, credit to Real Madrid. I think Ancelotti will have stumbled across something. You know, I think Camavinga coming on and having Valverde with their legs combined with some of the older, more senior players, I think that's a lot better balance. They showed a lot better balance in extra time. I thought it was there for the taking in extra time. I thought Chelsea would because they was dominant for the first 90 minutes, they would have overrun them. But I think that was a little change that he made, Carlo, and I think he's fallen on something. But Chelsea ultimately will be kicking themselves, because if you take out the first 45 minutes, which was the worst display under Thomas Tuchel's reign, the rest of the game and extra time, I think Chelsea should have won. But it shows you there's little details in these games in the top level that really change things. And the only thing that, it wasn't even that he'd done wrong, that they lost the ball in the transition. And it was the only time in the game that Reece James wasn't in front of Vinicius. Reece James had Vinicius locked down. Probably one of the most informed wingers in the world. He locked him down all game. One moment he wasn't in front of him, he sets up the winner. Crazy.
And it's either Manchester City or Atletico Madrid. What would particularly Manchester City have made watching that game?
Delighted.
You think so?
Yeah.
I mean, I said it before the Chelsea game last week at Stamford Bridge. I expected Chelsea last week, this was, to run all over Madrid. They did that tonight. It's just too late. They'd lost the game last week in that first 45 minutes. And the mistake in the second half, of course, where they were all over the place, and they saved their worst 45 minutes under Thomas Tuchel for arguably the most important game. And the 3 minutes after that and extra time, they were the dominant team. So Manchester City will look at Madrid and say, right, or Atletico Madrid will look at Madrid, but you want it to be Manchester City, of course. They'll look at this and go, we should be able to dominate possession. And as long as you don't make mistakes, and we talk about it all the time, and get red cards and silly errors or penalties, they should be good enough to beat this team.
You know what, Joe? Every time we see a shot of a Chelsea player, and quite rightly the Real players are loving it this evening in front of the fans who are loud all night. Every time you see a shot of the Chelsea player, they're staring into the distance. Thomas Tuchel looked like he had Ancelotti's number. They dominated the game. They'd done it. They were 3-0 up. The job was done.
I know this feeling all too well, Jake. It's you know, when you've been the better side of it and you get knocked out, it's horrible.